Hi, hello, g'day, kia ora, welcome to the studio. I am recording this video so that I can wrap up the parcel and send it to my swap partner. She's not really a swap partner as such, but she is. We became swap partners for Dephemerember 2023. And our friendship has just blossomed since then. So we agreed that we were going to just swap things again this year for Dephemerember. But it's also her birthday in November. So I thought I would just sneak in some extras with the swap package. So obviously I have posted this away by the time you're watching this, and the parcel has arrived to the recipient. Hi Tanja, happy birthday. Surprise, bet you weren't expecting this. So yes, we decided not to swap journals, but I sneakily sent her one anyway. So she's probably going to growl me for it. Do I look worried? No, I am not in the slightest bit worried at all. Couldn't care less. Anyway, so this is the journal that I've sent her. It has about 50,000 miles worth of sari ribbon. Okay, not quite that lot, but a lot. Which I, for the first time ever, actually ironed it flat. You have no idea how long this took me. I don't know if I'm going to do it again, but it does look pretty. Beautiful champagne sari silk. So this is the journal. Now I followed Barbara's tutorial for her paper bag journals that she normally does for her planner journals. So inside is a grocery paper bag. It's got fabric on both sides, and I have included a pocket in the back with a closure, and I'll open this up. If you want to know how to make these closures, leave a comment below and I can do a video on that. But Tanja, in case you're looking, in the pocket is all the leftover fabric. I said I left in the note that I've sent or included in this pretty little envelope, complete with wax seal. So Tanja, I've included some fabric, and if you can't find it, it's because it's in the pocket. So I thought that was the easiest place to put it. Wouldn't get tangled up, threads hanging out, whatever. So anyway, there's 4 signatures in there, and I've stitched it through the spine because I quite like that look. Although I've used a like a khaki colour wax thread, linen thread, and it doesn't show up all that much on this fabric, but that's okay. Now the journal itself is essentially a naked journal because Tanja and I have gone back and forth and amongst all our discussions, that's the kind of journal that she prefers. So I haven't done anything on the cover, no toppers or decoration of any sort. Tanja can do whatever she wants to that. I've essentially put the fabric in there so she can add any pockets etc, etc. I've only added 4 fabric tabs just because I couldn't resist. I had to do something. And then as I do a quick flick through, I'll show you kind of what I've done, because basically all I've done is some stenciling and some stamping on some of the pages. That's pretty much it. So each of the signatures has got one of these full page rose images that I've got from an old gardening book that I got from a second-hand shop. I just thought that looked quite nice. Lovely and colourful. So they've all got that same page, or pages from the same book I should say, as that outer page for the signature. So I'm just going to flip through it really quickly. I've included tea and coffee dyed pages. This is one of my favourite pages in the entire journal. This is a stencil that is, I think, a deco art stencil, one of Andy Skinner's, and I went through, inked through there with a brush, and I think it was brush, gathered tuna, brush, frayed burlap, and that was the oxide ink. Then, and I went through it quite intense, sprayed it with water, and then dried it with my heat gun, and fell in love with it. Look at that lusciousness. I love this page. This is one of my favourite pages, and this was actually, and I don't know if you can see it there, but it's actually a braille page as well. So it was too high for the book, so I've actually turned that into pockets as well. So all sorts of wonderfulness there. I've included some old printables that I had hanging around, because I know that Tanja is putting some of Luise and Barbara's printables in her own journal that she's making, so I didn't want to include the same things in this. So these are just some that I've got in my collection of printables. And then stenciling and stamping. There are some vintage pages out of a woman's, like, weekly, a New Zealand Woman's Weekly, I think it is, compendium back from about the 1950s, and old diary pages, dictionary pages with stamping all over them. I've got some tea-dyed music pages, tea and coffee dyed ledger, more printables, some old French book pages that I imported, some old, like, pages from, like, children's books. Yeah, I think that was a children's book. Some vintage music sheets. What's that called? Not dictionary. Encyclopedia. We don't use them now. Again, this was that frayed burlap, oxide, water. Yeah, just love what happened to it. And then, yeah, I left in, like, all the handwriting where someone's written on pages, because I just thought they looked so cool. did a stamping from just various different sets. Some that I've picked up from Temu, some are Tim Holtz, some are random whatevers. This is the back, and so this side here, I sprayed onto the stencil after I'd inked through for this side. So the ink through for here and sprayed onto here, onto the stencil, flipped it over, and I love that just as much as this one here. And you can see where the stencil came through to the other side. Just awesome. I'm going to have to try that again, particularly on that braille paper. Second signature, pretty much same as the first. Same kind of papers, stenciling, atlas pages, more of that Woman's Weekly. We've got recipes this time, some picture books for a change or something different. Yeah, just random stenciling, all sorts. I tried, now the one thing, that's what I didn't mention, was that the centre page of every signature, I've got this printable ledger paper. So it's from either freebies or printable kits that I've bought, and I just thought that looks, like a cool idea. So I've got the roses on the outside, and then on the inside I've got ledger paper. Just provide some kind of consistency. And I have got there the 1.5 centimetre gaps between the signatures, so there's plenty of expansion room, lots of room for Tanja to do whatever she wants, include tax invoices there. That's the stamp that I put on the envelope for her, but I did it in the envelope. I've stamped it in archival ink and aquamarine, because I thought she could then put that into her journal that she's making, because she's mentioned that the colour scheme for that is sort of a turquoise, brown, orange. So I thought, well, include as many different things that she can use in there as some of these side bits, or she can put it in here. Entirely up to you, Tanja, what you choose to do. It is, after all, your birthday journal, and you can do whatever you want with it. Stenciling, stamping. Yeah, I just kind of sat in front of it. I think I sat in front of a movie or two and just did whatever took my fancy. Just mainly on all these pages that were blank. I just, so that there was something there, and if Tanja wants, she can pull out pages and use them as collage fodder. This was another one using frayed burlap distress oxide, stencil through the entire thing, wet it, and see what happens. Tends to be my philosophy of life. This one is probably my second favourite page, and it's a fully round page. I've folded up the bottom to create tuck spots on either side here, and then on the back I've used a big wool stencil of a damask, again with that frayed burlap, the Distress Oxide, wet it, and this paper is just a little bit thicker so it could handle a lot of water, and then just loved how the ink has, you know, gone and done what it, you know, what it wanted to do. Absolutely love that. Those are my two favourite pages, and I will probably be repeating them, something similar, in my own journals. Right, so that's it. Now I will sort of put this aside and jump to some of the other goodies that I've included. A quick flip through of the scraps that I've included for Dephemerember, just so you've got an idea of, you know, what I sent out. Right, so this is a very quick run through of the 50 odd bits and pieces that I am sending to Tanja as our scrap swap. So I've got some, now this is, I think, texture paste. Over the top is coloured with, I think, Viva Gold? I can't remember. Just testing the different colours, and then paint over the top. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I've got a little wee baggie here, and inside is some very thin, like, tissue paper that was, I think, in between leaves of gold or silver foil. There's some die cuts in there of various different sizes, and some little stickers. There's paper. A lot of it has been dyed with tea and coffee or ink stains. There's some drop sheets. This was from cleaning out paintbrushes. This was a drop sheet underneath my some misting that I was doing. I've got bits left over. That's 10 coffee filters. This was a collage sheet where I've taken out part of it, and this is what's left of that sheet. Now there's so many oranges because, or orange coloured, because that was one colour that Tanja specifically mentioned she was putting in her journal. So hopefully out of those there will be plenty that she's got or can use. Couple of dyed tea and coffee, and I think that's onion skin dyed glassine bags. And this is more Distress ink dyeing. Yeah, Distress ink and tea and coffee. This is a vintage coaster. Now I've got, so this is some more of that Distress ink and just some very tiny scraps. We've got, that's Distress ink plus this is Dephemerember acrylic ink or iridescent ink. The artsy score pad sheet. This is Distress ink that I've just watered out, and this is a template from a typo kit that I got, and I think they have typo in Australia. These are some doodling and neurographic art sheets that I've made. Piece of printed, like, marbled paper. This was me testing out some Distress inks. on brown paper, a couple of watercolour tags with again testing of inks, paper. This was just a scrap with a dragonfly. I've got some more loose scraps from that rose book. This was an envelope made out of some tissue paper sheets, or tissue paper over book page, I should say. This is some leftover scraps of some French paper, or French book pages. That was from a 3D model over an MDF base of a airship that I made, or no, hot air balloon, sorry. A couple of oversized tags where I was testing some stencils. I think my son might have done one. This was another one of my testing. So underneath is collaged printed deli paper. I've then covered that with some of that Inca Gold paint, and then I have stenciled over the top with black paint, I think, from memory. And it's all going to go into this paper bag. Hopefully that will keep everything together and closed. So there's a bit of variety in there. But as I mentioned, I will be adding to this with another bag, probably about the same size, I think, of other bits and pieces, as well as some other things. So for instance, I have a little wee bag here of various different wax seals that I've made, in all different colours, but I tried to like put together the colours that she mentioned, of like the teal green, brown and orange, although I'm sorry Tanja, but it just kind of turned out to be like poop brown in the end, orange and brown combining, so sorry you've got poop coloured wax seals, so that's there. And I'm sending a packet of some vintage tickets that I have found along the way with different values. Some of them are the old 2 and 6, so they're very old. Some of them are in our current dollars that we have here now, but $2 to go to the movies was very cheap. Hopefully there's some stuff in there that Tanja really likes. Hopefully there's not too much that she hates. And I'm sure it will all keep her busy regardless. So I look forward to seeing what you make from it, Tanja. And I will see you once Dephemerember starts. It's probably not very far away now, depending on when this video comes out. But I will be chomping at the bit, raring to go and get started on responding to all these prompts. So if you want to know more about it, I've got links for both Barbara and Luise's channels down below. There's also a link to my playlist for 2023 Dephemerember, which was my first year. I've still got to catch up on the earlier 2 years, 3 years, 2 years, I think. And yeah, starting I think the 1st of December, or at least the first like weekday, Monday to Thursday in December, so it's the 4 days a week, responding to prompts and, you know, to inspire us to create different pieces of ephemera for a journal. So I hope you will join me for those prompt responses, and I will see you back on the 1st for Dephemerember. Bye for now.